Manny Khoshbin doesn't just collect cars. He curates power, precision, and personality on four wheels. And just when you thought his garage couldn't get any more outrageous, Part 2 drops with machines that are louder, rarer,
Here it is!
and even more personal. Let's get into it. Starting with one of the most insane cars in Manny Khoshbin's garage right now, the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut. This is not just a rare hypercar, it's one of the most technically advanced, speed-focused machines on the planet. And of course, Manny had to make sure his spec stands out. This car is about one thing: top speed. And unlike the Jesko Attack, which is built for more downforce and track performance, the Absolut is clean, sleek, and purely optimized to cut through the air with as little resistance as possible. No massive rear wing, no wild splitters, it's minimal in design but absolutely brutal in performance. Under the skin, it's powered by a 5-liter twin-turbo V8 that puts out an unreal 1,600 horsepower while running on E85. And no, I didn't misspeak, 1,600 horsepower in a car that barely looks real. And the target top speed? Koenigsegg estimates that this thing can push past 300 miles an hour. That is not just fast, that is aviation level speed on four wheels. Now, base pricing for the Jesko Absolut starts at around $3.4 million, but Manny's build isn't base, it is full-on custom spec. And with the level of detail and personalization he's known for, you're easily looking at $4 million or more. We haven't seen all of the final touches yet, but knowing Manny, it'll be a mix of subtle class and wild attention to detail. Only a few of these are being delivered to the US, and Manny's is expected to be one of the first. This is the kind of car that doesn't just sit in a collection, it defines it. It's one of those rare builds that marks a new chapter, even for someone who's seen and owned just about everything. And as wild and futuristic as the Jesko Absolut is, Manny's taste isn't just about chasing the latest engineering marvels. He's also got a serious appreciation for timeless machines, and that's exactly where the Porsche Carrera GT comes in. This car is a different kind of icon. No turbos, no hybrid tech, no wild aero, just pure, naturally aspirated brilliance. The Carrera GT is one of those cars that feels like the last breath of an era we're probably never going to see again. Manny's example isn't just any Carrera GT either, he owns one in a rare color, and it's got low mileage, which is getting harder and harder to come by as these cars climb in value and collectability. At the heart of it is a 5.7-liter V10 that was originally developed for motorsport. It revs like a race car and makes one of the best sounds in the supercar world. Raw, mechanical, and completely unfiltered. With 612 horsepower and a top speed of 205 miles an hour, it is not just a piece of automotive art. It is still seriously quick by today's standards. What really sets the Carrera GT apart, though, is the way it drives. It has a manual gearbox, a carbon clutch that takes real skill to master, and zero driver aids. In a world of electronic, well, everything, the Carrera GT reminds you what it really feels like to be fully connected to the machine. Prices on these have been climbing steadily, especially for clean, original examples. Most sit somewhere between $1.5 and $2 million these days, but with Manny's spec and condition, it's safe to say his is closer to the top end of that range, if not above it. And speaking of rare Porsches with some serious presence, the next one in Manny's garage takes us from analog precision to modern-day track weaponry. Let's talk about the Porsche 935, the 2019 modern tribute version. Not the original from the 70s, but the ultra-limited beast based on the 911 GT2 RS. Right away, this car stands out, especially in Manny's spec. He's got his finished in the classic Martini-style livery, which doesn't just nod to the original, it straight up brings it back to life in a way that feels bold and respectful all at once. Only 77 of these were ever built, and Manny secured one of them, which gives you an idea of how exclusive this thing really is. Underneath the retro-inspired bodywork, it is all business. Power comes from a 3.8-liter twin-turbo flat-six, pushing out 700 horsepower. And while it is technically based on the GT2 RS, the 935 is far more than a reskinned 911. It's been reworked for serious track use, with aerodynamic tweaks, lightweight body panels, and a stripped-down interior that just screams motorsport. Top speed, around 211 miles an hour. But this car isn't just about straight-line numbers. It's built to dominate corners, punish tires, and keep going lap after lap. Porsche didn't even bother making it road legal. It's a track-only machine, and Manny's the kind of guy who actually appreciates that level of purity. Price-wise, you're looking at well over $1.5 million, and with how few were made, not to mention the spec he went with, it wouldn't be surprising if his was already worth more. And now we shift from Porsche's precision to a name that pretty much rewrote the book on what a hypercar could be: Bugatti. Not just any Bugatti, of course. This one is the 2011 Veyron Grand Sport, and it sits in Manny's garage as a separate piece from his Rembrandt edition and his base Veyron. And yeah, that's right, he owns three. This Grand Sport is the Roadster variant, which means you get all the outrageous performance of a Veyron with the added bonus of open-air driving. And with that custom interior and exterior work Manny had done, this car has his personal touch all over it. He didn't just buy one off the lot, he made it his own. At the core is that monstrous 8-liter quad-turbo W16, producing 1,001 horsepower. Even today, those numbers are hard to wrap your head around. The top speed is a wild 253 miles an hour, and that's with the roof on. Take it off, and it is still absurdly quick, because Bugatti doesn't really do slow. This car marked a turning point in the hypercar world. When the Veyron first came out, it was the one that made people rethink what was even possible in a road car. And the Grand Sport version added just enough style and drama to keep that legacy alive while offering something a little different. Pricing for these typically falls between $2.2 and $2.5 million, depending on mileage and condition. But as with most of Manny's cars, his custom touches and how pristine it likely is push that number up. It's a car that blends engineering with elegance, and for Manny, it fills a very specific role in the collection. He's got the coupe, he's got the ultra-rare Rembrandt edition, and this Grand Sport, it's his way of enjoying the Veyron experience with the sky above and nothing but that W16 symphony behind. And just when you think you've seen the full range of Manny's taste, he hits you with something that blends American heritage with modern supercar design: the 2017 Ford GT. This isn't just a cool car in the collection, it's a modern-day tribute to one of the greatest racing stories ever told. The original GT40 that took down Ferrari at Le Mans in the 60s. Manny's GT is finished in liquid red, a color that really makes the sharp lines and aggressive aero pop. It's not flashy in the way a Bugatti is, but it demands attention in its own way. Stealthy, sculpted, and built with purpose. Under the rear hatch sits a 3.5-liter twin-turbo V6, pushing out 647 horsepower. Now, some people raised an eyebrow when Ford went with a V6 instead of a V8 or a V10, but once you drive or hear this thing in action, all of that goes away. It is brutally fast, with a top speed of 216 miles an hour, and it's got that kind of downforce and active aero you would expect from a car born out of a race program. What makes the second-gen GT special, though, isn't just performance. It's the exclusivity and the way Ford built it. Buyers had to apply just to get on the list. Manny got in early, and now with values rising fast, his car, originally priced at $500,000, could easily be worth over $1.2 million today, especially in a spec as clean and well-kept as his. It's one of those cars that brings balance to the collection, not as raw as the Carrera GT or as over-the-top as the Jesko, but it carries legacy, precision, and presence. And it's very Manny. It's rare, it's refined, and it tells a story. Now, after walking through all of these hyper-focused, high-performance machines, let's take a breath and look at something a bit more relaxed, but still seriously impressive. Manny's not just about lap times and top speed records. He also values comfort, presence, and daily usability, which brings us to his Bentley Continental GT Speed Convertible. This car is a different kind of statement. It's still fast, don't get it twisted, but it's wrapped in pure luxury. Powered by a 6-liter W12 engine putting out 650 horsepower, it'll still do 0 to 60 in around 3.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 208 miles an hour. So yeah, it is a grand tour, but with plenty of muscle under the hood. The real appeal here is how Bentley blends performance with elegance. Inside, you're surrounded by quilted leather, polished metals, and hand-finished wood. And with the top down, cruising through California streets, it doesn't get much better. It's the kind of car you drive when you want to enjoy the journey just as much as the destination. For Manny, the GT Speed Convertible fills a very specific role in the collection. It's a daily capable car with all the refinement you would expect from Bentley, but with enough edge to still earn its place next to a Veyron or Jesko. Priced around $300,000, it's not even close to the most expensive in his fleet, but in terms of comfort and style, it is easily one of the most enjoyable. And with that, we wrap up the latest chapter from Manny Khoshbin's private garage. Part 2 has been packed with power, rarity, and more than a few surprises, and something tells us there is still more to come. So there you have it, another peek into the garages of the rich and often ridiculously over the top. From the understated to the utterly outlandish, these stars certainly know how to spend their hard-earned cash on horsepower. If you enjoyed drooling over these magnificent machines, hit that like button faster than a supercar at a green light. Tell us in the comments which celebrity's collection surprised you the most or whose taste you'd actually borrow. And for more exclusive tours of celebrity wealth and automotive extravagance, make sure to subscribe and ding that notification bell. You don't want to miss our next deep dive into their driveways. See you next time, gearheads.